これさ、いやでもなんかあんまり待った方がいいんから分かるとりあえずゲーム起動したらこれなんよな。
今3窓してます
大変やな。なんか仮面ライダーの配信してる人もいるやろ。お、今2窓してるまあチャンネル登録者数も別に多くないし人が新規に来るか分からんから適当に始めようかね。なんか古い PC みたいな音してる。今このうわーマジかよ、ネタバレかよ、やめろよ、ネタバレかよ下手くそすぎた検索ワード殺人、ハードディスク使用量232、単位はこれ消していい？終わった終わった。じゃあこのデータベースってこれ何？検索履歴なし、設定、アンチグレアにすると見やすくなると。どっちがいいんだろうこれ。なんかアンチグレアがない方がマイナス検索をちゃんと使いこなせ。多分まあこの方が雰囲気出るからいいかな。じゃあとりあえず殺人って検索せなあかんってこと？殺人、なんかこの視聴済みマーク、これ見てみるか。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
実写？この目のマークがついてるのはまだ見てないよってことか。
Yeah, that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
94年7月1日、これがさっきのが94年6月27。服はまあ変ではないか。これは94年7月3日。
I'd like to speak to the lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
ハーストーリーのハーってこの人かな。わかんねえ、何が起きたのかも。サイモンが死んだということだけは分かった。サイモンが死んだよな。
Yeah,
サイモンが死んだんやな。
that's me. But February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
っていうことは分かった。これで検索ワードができるから検索でこれでサイモンって探すんや。なるほど。これめっちゃおもろいんじゃん。サイモン。おーおー、マジで。
Simon Smith.
サイモン・スミ
He
ス。
works at Ernst Brothers
アンスト
Glass.
ブラザーズ。
They do
ガラス会社。
windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
ん？こいつがサイモン？
ヒットセンス検索
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass.
こんなゲームはつまらんと。
Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
こいつ
Really
がサイモン？
beautiful things. It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock.
イーターとスー
It's
ザン。
run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with.
こいつはサイ
One
モンじゃない
they
んや。
have sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
うーん。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess. That kind of thing.
掘って押さえてるし虫歯だよ
虫歯の事情聴取してんのこれ。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything
失
crazy.
踪したりってことはこの時点ではまだ
Someone must have done something to him or
死体は見
there
つかっ
must
てな
be
いか。
some kind of accident.
6月18。
So what do we do next?
はあ。
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so
恋人？
much.
サイモンの恋人？こいつの名前はこいつの名前すら分からんよ。コーナーストーン。コーナーストーン。コーナーストーン。コーナーストーン。わかんねえ。52個のクリップが見つかりました。アクセスできるのは最初から5個のクリップまで。バードでやってるみたい。サイモン複数アンド検索できる。殺人。あ、じゃあこれは見たな。サイモンなんかバーみたいなとこに行ってたっていう。
It's the Rockington Arms.
ザロック。
The Rock. It's run by a nice couple.
あ、違う人出てきたのかこれ。違う人かな。
Oh God, I don't know.
あ、同じ人か。
I mean, I guess The Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
うーん。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back.
エリック。エリッ
Waited
ク。
all day. He was supposed to go help
Eric.
Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a
彼
job.
が来ないってエリックが電話で言ってる。
So Eric was ringing on the phone.
エリックじゃ。
I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since.
エリックが怪しい。
Still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
エリックだろこれ。この女しか事情聴取されてないんやけど。え？どういうこと？
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat,
上司
a long grey duffel coat,
上司のエリック。
like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
上司のエリック。
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier,
キャバリ
and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
わかんねえ。わかんねえ。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa. A
Visa
silver
card?
one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
エリック何も関係ないやん。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
ダイアン。ダイアンね。ダイアン。ギター持ってるやんこいつ。え？どこでこれは話聞いてんの？
Diane is really nice. She helps out with glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
チェーンソーも出てくるぞ。この女の人があれサイモンの恋人で、サイモンの上司がエリックで、エリックの奥さんがダイアン。よし、でダイアンはいい人と言われている。でその上司とサイモンはいい関係。エリックとサイモンはいい関係にある。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric.
時計が出てきた。素敵な時計出てきたやつ。指輪し
It
てる
was
な
a
この
wedding
人。
anniversary.
結婚してる
Steel.
の？あ、結婚はしてるのか。
It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time. You must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
でこの区切ってある証言ビデオ何？
Not really. He would go to the pub.
なんか
He
ちょっ
had
と
his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the
さっき
house.
と感情が違う感じがするな。
Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef,
髪の
we
毛
got
触
the
ってた
recipe
り
of sea fats, and I did my Lloyd Grossman
視
bit,
線がすごい泳いでたり
commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from
ス
the
ーパーにファンネル
supermarket.
フェンネ
Have
ル
you
か
ever eaten
フェンネルね。フェンネルって食べたことあるって実績の意味がわからん。フェンネル関係ある？
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over
エ
for
リック
dinner.
とエリックが上司ダイアンのダイアンはエリックの奥さん。
Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Seedfax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the
フ
supermarket.
ェンネル関係あるかこれ。
Have you ever eaten fennel?
ギター来たぞ。
Simon and Eric arguing?
サイモンとエリカこう
I can't imagine they'd be arguing.
想像
Getting
でき
so
ない。
well.
そんぐらい仲いい。
Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
やっぱダイアンがキーなんじゃない？コーンギター侍が流行ったのって2004年ぐらいか。ギター何あれギター音メキシ。絞りきれんな。ね、5個の検索してもクリップは5個までしか見れんからなんか検索して絞ってかなあかんだけどギターで検索してみるか。それありやな。でダイアンはこの5つしか出てこなかったから多分ダイアンそんな関係ないんだろうなっていうのは分かる。あ、ギター来たギターあるわギターあるやん。
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf.
ギターにダイアンっていうじゃあこの人の旦那さんのサイモンの上司の、エリックの奥さんはギターだったわけギターだったわけ。そういうこと。
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
ギターは持ってる。ギターは持ってる。
You want me to play something?
弾けと。
I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay.
ギター弾けるんですね。
Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. There were two sisters came walking by the sea.
めっちゃうまいよ。
Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. All the dreadful wind. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till her ship
何この歌。
by. Oh, the dreadful wind and
今までなんか やもう変な展開になってるやん。伝統的バラードはどうって言って歌ったんやろこれ。はあちょっと待って意味がわからんこいつ意味がわからん。あかん、検索ワードが全然思い浮かばん。ギターの侍しか出てこへん。意味がわからんだろあのギターのやつ。あ、これ検索履歴のサイモンが52件あるから絞るか。サイモンパブあれ関係あるよな。あ、関係あるやつを想像できるんやこれ。そしてこうタグ自分でつけれるんや。へえすげえなこれ。インスタントファイルアクセスとあれ初投稿でし来たらビビるだろ。ハードディスク使用量232ってことはファイルが232個あんねん多分。あ、リードミー読んでなかった。リードミー読めるんやこれ。このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の流れをデジタル化しより活用しやすい形で証拠を保存するための仕組みの試みの一つです。犯罪に対処するための最重要ツールとしてコンピューターの需要は今後も一層高まっていくことが予想されています。このデータベースにはポーツマスの凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブより集めた凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブを集めたビデオ映像が収納されています。データは ASRA のテクノロジーによって自動的に整頓され各証言は個別のクリップに分割されて保存されているためそれぞれにキーワードを追加することで法廷への提出の際などに活用することができます。クリップを取得するためには検索ボックスに、言葉を入力する必要があり、例強盗、言葉を入力して検索を押すとその言葉が含まれるクリップが検索されます。また半額スペースで区切って複数の言葉を入力することで検索の幅を狭めることができます。ハンド検索ね。テープを文字に起こした資料などが手元にある場合は発言の全文をダブルクォーテーションで書くことでそれはよくわからんちょっと検索したクリップを後で参照した場合はセッションに保存。こいつがデータベースだ。情報公開法に沿って申請しゲストとしてのアクセス権を取得しておいたよ。見たところちゃんと機能してるようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだがその後の Y2K 騒ぎやなんやでこいつは放置されたままになっていたようだ。残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方は見つけられなかった。あるいは1997年の洪水の際にやられてしまったのかもな。何せよこれだけでも情報としては十分なはずだ。SB ソフトバンクはこういうとこまでさなんか仕事してるやん。ギターさんやサイモン強盗。絶対この女犯人だろ。こと関係なし。はあ。エリックのやつもちゃんと見りきれてないからサイモンとエリックで検索してみよう。お、出てきた。8件のグリップってことは全部見れてないってことか。
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Baganana.
なんかダグとエレザーが出てきたぞ今。
誰な？
誰や？タグつける？どうしようかな。つけとくか。家におらんかったってこと結局。家の鍵開いてて、でいつもおるようなとこにおらんくて、気づいたら寝てて、で旦那の上司から電話があってみたいな。それには出んかったな。何この女。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents.
あ、サイモンの両親か。
And then I decided to come and see
サイモンの両親が
誰な？
ダグとエレノアや。この情報関係ある？ この情報関係ある？両親まで関係あるか？
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and someone had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. It was always good at helping his children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
王子様。なんで笑ってんの？怖っ。わけわからん。わけわからん。ダグ6件。
Yeah, I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried.
彼の両親
I feel sorry for them. I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at a primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
両親の干渉。
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked at a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage.
旦那さんが、
She still has a secret like that.
お父さんの、お父さんじゃん。だから、こいつの、こいつの旦那のサイモンの両親がダグとエレノアで、ダグが、その奥さんに隠れてタバコ吸ってたと。関係なさそうやな。
1984
1984
was an awful year in the end.
1984 10年前。
We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when we discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. Forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
これ気になるな。これ関係あるのかな。
1984 was an awful year in the end.
これ検索かけたいな。
We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died
旦那さん
in
の
the summer.
旦那さんの
It was a hot summer.
両親と暮らしてたんやけど、
So when they discovered the bodies, it was
旦那
just
さんの
awful.
旦那さん
Because of
の
the
両
circumstances,
親と
them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police.
なんか
The
変な
forensic
感じに
entomologist.
自分の両親が死んで見つかった。
was because of the heat. It's just
ああ。保育昆虫学者で絞れるかな。ちょっとね、これ気になる。これ保存しとこう。1984年の両親の話か。昆虫1個だけか。うわー、なんか浅い情報しかねえ。浅い情報しかねえ。1980年。1個だけか。積んだ積みました。死体。おギター出てきたから見ようか。怖いな。
really? Okay. Here's the rest.
あ、これ
Made a body of a doctor.
ギター侍のこれ
All the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. All the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle go off along.
娘の髪でギター作っ
All the wind and the rain.
た。怖っ。
Yes, he made a fiddle go off a long, long
風と雨が消えたらいいよ、そんな。
All the dreadful winds and rain.
いや、作る。
And he made fiddle heads of the finger bones. All the wind and the
風と
rain.
雨が消えなくなる。
Yes, he made fiddle heads from the finger bones. All the dreadful wind
ペグってあれなんか、キャンプの時の
made
や
a fiddle out of her breastbone. All the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. All the dreadful wind and rain.
つ。めっちゃ、
But the only tune that the fiddle could play was all the wind and the rain.
めっちゃノリノリやん。
Yes, the
Mucha
only
melodía, mucha.
tune that
Venga,
the
voy a-
fiddle could play was all the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
分からんけど保存しとこう。ああ、ちょっと待ってよ。
Really?
何て言ってたっけ？
Okay. Here's the rest.
風と雨、風と雨、風と雨な。この2個だけか。
The bruise.
朝？
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
朝？朝？
I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
死体を見つけて？ お、なんか全然違うの来たぞ。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I looked down
2 週
there
間
the
前
week
に見た
before,
時に箱の位置がいつも
those
と違っていた。
boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over.
動かし
I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin
ゴミ
bags.
袋を見つけた。え
Pulled them open,
う
saw the
わ
body. I screamed and
あ、こいつが死体見つけたんや。これめっちゃ重要な証言や。え誰ほんでその死体。
his body
サイモンやん。彼ってサイモン
wasn't
だろ。
real. His throat
喉締められて
it looked like his throat
切り裂かれた。
out.
シャドバやん。3点入るぞ。
And I didn't see his glasses. As his
メガネはかけていなかった。
glasses. It doesn't always make
なんかでも喉切り裂かれた。あーもうちょっとヒント欲しいんやけどな。確かに死体のヒントも欲しいけど、どうしようかな。どっから絞っていこう。いやまず死体を見つけた時の状況を聞きたいけど逆転裁判みたいにして逆転裁判みたいにさ聞きたいんですよ。死体を見つけた時の状況を教えてくださいってじゃないけど、逆にこうバラバラで来るの新しいよな。これすげえ新しい。検索履歴見ようか。地下で見つかったっつって言ってたから、地下って検索してみようか。現場って使うからなんつうの、証言する人が現場って言うかな。現場って言わんな。地下や、多分地下やな。お、来た、地下来た。違う日が3つ。
the whole thing was wrong.
欲しいだよ、天バカに。
The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably
キッチンにあったバッ
check
グ。何の
that.
袋
Into
な
the
の？
cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't
ビニール
need.
袋か布袋か。
Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
父は昔キノコを栽培したけど。マリオか。
The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
ああ、ガムテープで取られていた。何の袋の話かわからんな。
Well, fine, considering.
こんなキノコを集める仕事
I
をし
got
た
back into the house today, and
Awesome.
that was weird, knowing your people have been there through
物
my
好きでしょう
things.
がない。
It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in, as good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral.
検視官
It's good
検視官
information.
検視 検視気になる。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost
何目のうちに了解しよう。
silently. The baby was what mattered.
大事なのは赤ちゃんでありその
We'd
ために
helped
協力
each
しよう
other.
と。
We cleaned up.
怖
We
っ。
bagged up the broken mirror,
ストッ
her
プ。
clothes.
ストップ。待
They're
て。
gone.
壊れた鏡は血に染まってる。彼を地下室に運んだ。え
We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with
自
it.
白じゃねこれ。
The watch,
超自白じゃね。
that was my touch.
これ超自白やん。なんか音変わった。あ
もうクリアか。
早ない。袋。ちょっと待って、これ何したら勝ち？このゲーム何したら勝ち？めっちゃ夢中なやつ探してたけどさ、勝利条件がわからん。ミラータイル。俺は今何をさせられているんや。俺は今何をさせられてんの。いらんわこんなん。ハスキーアートがあってゴミ箱にログオフにした。いやこれどうしたら勝ちやねんこれ。時間もずれてるし時間もずれてるしさ。これどうやったら勝ちな。意味がわからん。全部保存したら勝ち全部保存したら勝ちか。これと同じ日の多分7月3日には自白してるはずやから、これと同じ日のやつを探すか。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered.
大事なの
We'd
は
helped
赤
each
ちゃん。
other.
赤
We
ちゃん。
cleaned up. We bagged up the
透
broken
明な。
mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later.
アリ
We
バイ
wanted to
アリ
have
バイか。
suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it.
アリバイ
rather
か
than
赤
have
ち
it
ゃんか。
linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
時計関係あるか。3つのクリップ。 赤ちゃん13クリップ。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby.
赤ちゃん
It
の
was
ために倹
wonderful
約。
to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
赤ちゃん高いな。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby.
あ
It
あ、あ
was
った。
wonderful to be in a hotel. We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school,
お金がなかったから
went full-time at Glaziers.
両親と一緒に暮らしてたのか。
We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. from when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
赤ちゃんのことで喧嘩したという動機があったわけやけど、赤ちゃんのビデオ全部見たいな。たまちゃん本舗、卵クラブ、ひよこクラブ、コッコクラブ、赤ちゃん、サイモン、出てきた。
That's all that matters, really. The baby.
赤ちゃんが全て。
Simon's dead, but the baby. That's how he will live on. Our baby.
サイモンは殺したとは言ってないけど、なんか死んだ。なんか死んで、で袋に入れられて、で地下に収納した。サイモンはなんか知らんけど、ほんで赤ちゃんができてる。
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No,
浮
I've
気。
never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for.
赤ちゃん死んだって言うてなかったかなんか。新しいのできたんか。
Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs?
俺セックスで今から検索せなあかんだ。そういうこと。
Is this your thing?
大丈夫な YouTube でセックスって言ってる。あら。
No. I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him.
オリオン座の下で。
Regardless of how much he behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It was stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you. No? Family. I wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just, it was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us.
彼女
I
が
tried
免
to
許
take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him.
こいつ20時近くじゃな
I
い
met him first.
花
She had such a
花
crush.
こいつ20時近くなんじゃないもしかして
I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses.
ああやっぱりそうや絶対20時近く
After
や
a
この人
while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity.
え
Not
だから
that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
これめっちゃ大事
俺探偵だからこの人いつもと違うよ。
嘘これ
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy
腕と
one.
か触ってないよなこの人
She was
髪と
especially
か
shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex.
Hannah.
Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin.
見て何が違うか探
She
して
had lots of excuses.
そうやな
After a while, we decided that I should
だから多分腕触ったりとか髪触ったりとかしてんのが花だろ
A bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in
落ち
turns.
落ち着いてる
I
よ
was the
これ
one who seduced
こ
the
の
boys
花じゃない方のやつ
until Simon.
花じゃない方のね多分この日が花やねん
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park
髪
down
型
the
かちょっと待って
road.
髪型か
Walked up.
そもそもの髪型か上げてんのが花か下ろしてんのか
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out.
内気
I
多
went
分こっち
straight
の
into
内気
the
の
kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. But he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was
もし
just
くは指輪
exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
まあ今の多分様子違うと思うよな。こいつやろ、こいつが違うってことやろ。
Differences?
指輪してなくないこい
She's
つ
a better
して
driver than me.
してなくないか
She passed the test for us.
結婚指輪
I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence.
たまたましてないかもしれんけど間違いなくしてないよね、
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. Hannah liked a boy. I would have
腕触ったり体のどっか触ってる
Was that with
っ
a
て
car?
時っていうのは
Hannah met him first.
不安の表れやから
She had such a crush.
落ち着いてるよねすごい
I let him take my virginity
態度として
after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex. Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of
私たちの赤ちゃんって言ったアワベイビーって言った言い方
we
が
decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush.
ねすごいついてるやん分かるやん
After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
この次のビデオが気になる
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding,
花は彼らの家
Hannah
に
moved in with his
花は
parents. There was no way I could follow,
別々には
so we were separated
え
again. I stayed in the attic.
えね裏に
It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I
花っ
would
て
seek
何
out that in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig.
ウィッグ
Hannah and I would meet up in the park.
ウィッグと
I was
花と
trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew,
Huh?
so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs,
双子か
parks.
なんで俺そっち思いつかんかったんやろ
I was 17. Felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. Found it hard to look sometimes.
あ
We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people?
あ花
And
と
that seemed like the right thing to do, but
こいつが一人の人間として扱われてたということ
we agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
サイモンだからそこに移るってこと花はサイモンとこいつ両方知ってるってことはあちょっとわけわからんぞわけわからんけどまだ進んでるからいいやあ花5件来た花19個のクリップあるから花で攻めていけるぞこれ
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's Pandre. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
おー
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's Pandre. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
これだけでは何とも言い難い あ、何何？イブ？花とイブ？何の攻撃これ？かわいそうなサイモン？あ、隠し撮りみたいなことか。は？一回ちょっと外出るねって言ったから気抜いて、イブこれなんかの意味あるんちゃうかな、ないかな。モール進行でもないよな。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
あ、これあれじゃない？嘘発見器みたいなことじゃない？
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
嘘を言うと電撃が走るやつ。
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born,
同時に生まれて双子。
I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord,
首にへそ
probably
の
wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't.
嘘？え？
She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
ああ、じゃあ女子男子の名前なんだっけ？
Across the road,
フローレンスね。
when my parents first lived there, she recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
生まれた時に双子で生まれて死んでるってなったけど、嘘ついてなんででも嘘ついたんかっていうのが分からんのよな。
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy
食
appetite.
欲旺盛だなで終わり。
If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend.
イマジナリーフレン
Once,
ド、ともちゃん。
she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
何？ 警察来たぞ今お、フローレンスの話。
Florence took me home with her.
連れて帰って
Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for
赤
Florence
ちゃ
to
ん
clean
盗
up,
んで
take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
その死体を任せたと。
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight.
で引きこもり
It
になっ
wasn't
た
odd
と。
for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror.
ああ、辛い側の人か。
She was me.
She was me. She was me. She was me.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken.
どこか壊れていた。え、
When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin
古い新聞
with
や
other stuff in it.
手紙。あ、日記気になるな。
Letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there.
彼女の過去。
I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war.
ああ、夫が。
And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl.
花が
It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I
花が生まれ
remember
たってなっ
that
た
I
のかな。
read when I was a child. Maybe I misread.
イブが
Maybe I misunderstood.
盗まれた方やな。
Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
はあ、はあ。7個のクリップ。
Well,
友達のイブ。
I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
ああ、花はイブのこと嫌いやったし、イブは花のこと嫌いやったんや。
Yes. We'd fight.
え、喧嘩したキャットファ
I
イト。
fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater.
ん？
There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach.
ちょっと待って。
I held her head under
彼女の頭を押さえつけながら。
and kept it up. And for a moment,
そのまま窒息させて殺
I
したいやん。
wanted
え
to kill her and watch her.
あの歌の話やん。やっぱ関係あったやん。
But that was it. It was just a moment. I mean, we made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
そらまあそうやな。ノリノリで歌うわな、そら。
Police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police.
私たち
So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up in the station. But
Ah, Eve,
with my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
また架空の友達の話してるってなって終わったんか。こいつはどっち？
My mother called me Eve.
お前どっちやねんお前どっちか死んだんかな今回。
Hannah was so smitten with Simon.
花が惚れたん
She
か。
started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. Kept
Toilet
changing
入れ替わり
places
す
in
ぎ
the
る。
toilet. We only had one best dress.
一
so we
着
kept
しかない
swapping
服を共
clothes.
有して。
Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
なんか最初に赤ちゃんが死んだって言ってたのこれじゃないかもしかして。こいつがやったんちゃうか。赤ちゃんと両親が死んだって言ってたの。うわー、裏事情が複雑すぎる。
Hannah had a miscarriage.
あ、流産したんや。
This was late
じゃあ
in
ちゃ
the
うんか。
pregnancy, and it left her infertile.
あ、子供産めんくなったんや。
Felt like the universe had corrected its course.
うわ、ニコニコしてる。ニコニコしてる。
But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers, and Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
で、花はだからその両親がちゃんといて、サイモンの初めてももらって、で妊娠もしたけど流産して子供が産めなくなったと。で、イブはなんか子供が欲しくて、なんだっけな、酔っ払いとかとこう寝たりしたけど、なんか性病にあったからやめたと。で、結局イブは妊娠できる体で花はできないみたいな、そういうまた歪みができたわけやね。イブの方が気になるな。イブ、赤ちゃんとないんだよな。赤ちゃんが気になるんよな。 赤ちゃん花、赤ちゃん花。お、
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove.
車に乗って。
I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think for some space between
あ、
me
喧
and
嘩したとか
there.
な。
Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out
タクシーにぶ
and
つ
I
かっ
hit a
て
car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to
妊娠
A&E
してた。
to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering.
やっぱ双子
And
双
I
子
decided to drive
まあ
back.
確定か。
I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
あ、ちょっと待って、これ誰と誰が喧嘩したんや。ちょっと待って、これ誰と誰が喧嘩したんや。喧嘩したって言ってたけど、これ誰と誰が喧嘩したんや。だって今サイモンじゃねえな、サイモンか、サイモンの両親がいたら、で多分ちょっと待ってよね、サイモンは花とエビ両方いること知ってんのよ、多分ででもサイモンの両親がいたらややこいことになるから、そこが一緒に暮らしてたら困ると。でで今おらんやんか。今おらんから、そのサイモンと両親がおらんから、多分サイモンと花とイブで暮らしてんねん。でちょっと待ってよ。そうだから3人おるから誰が喧嘩したんっていう話よな。
Okay.
まあ事件の時の
I
話。
parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you.
エリックとちょっと待ってよ、エリック何件？エリック14件で、これでアンド検索で花も検索してみよう。お、出てきてるぞ。
The legal stuff was completed very
法的な手
quickly.
続きが済んで、
And moved back in
花さんが
with
引っ越してきた。
Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move.
うん。
He decorated, modernized wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all.
あ、じゃあフローレンスの助産師の家に住んでるんやな、多分。3人で。そうだろう。おそらくそうだろう。で、エリックには関係はバレてないんかな。ダイアンは5件か。じゃあいいわ。サイモン、エリック、通 通報じゃないな。死体サイモン・エリック。いやでもエリックが絡んできてるかどうかわからんし、イブが何件？7件やろ。全部見たんかなこれ。あ、イブ妊娠や。妊娠マジで花妊娠。昔任天堂信者のこと妊娠って言ってたらしいな。今も言ってんのかな。
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had.
彼女に合わせ生理が止まり。
I was pretty though. I mean, how could we stay the same now?
妊娠
Felt like Hannah had really
的な症状が出たってこと？
set us down separate paths.
つわり的な。
We had become different.
なるほどね。なるほどね。
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm.
魔法の精子。
And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I was 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
ハナはこの時どう思ってたかなんやな。てかなんでサイモン死んだんかまだ分からんのよ。サイモン死んだのはもう最初の方から分かってるけど、配信始まってさ30分ぐらいで分かってるけど、サイモンちょっと掘るか。
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them. Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
床に横たわっていた。
His throat had been
喉が切り裂かれていて、
cut. There was a lot of blood.
血だらけで。それは聞いたよな。
He was dead.
でも赤ちゃんが大事やったからサイモンはもう隠そうぜって。サイモン分からなさすぎる。サイモンの意味が分からなさすぎる。 せめて今いくつまで見たか確認できればな。サイモンあ、サイモンねサイモンのどサイモンちサイモン袋なんかお父さんスイッチみたいになってるサイモンスイッチ袋違うサイモンなエリック書きあるんかな。とりあえず文字入れまくるか。サイモン花を検索したな。サイモン親父の名前、親父とおふくろの名前、ラグとエレナーか。おっ
I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Sam's parents until
did use
about a few months after.
なんで
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
流産して
We carried on living at Sam's parents until that was only a few months after. Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back, me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
とりあえずひとまず両親で検索かけるか。なんか曖昧すぎるからさ、単語としてどうかなと思うんだけど、お互いの両親もあるしな。
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room, and they decided we should get married.
その妊娠が結婚のきっかけだったわけね。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life.
両親が亡くなった。
A miscarriage, and then my parents.
なんで亡くなったかまでは 言ってはないよな。でも両親詰めかねてるな。フローレンスってフローレンスあ、両親 C で検索したらいいんや。マジでこれどうやったらクリアなのマジでさ。なんか実績がさ13個あるんやけど、まだ2個しかクリアしないんやな。特定のムービー踏んだらじゃないかなと思ってるんやけど、これヒントにする？ギター侍。これは多分これどっちだったかな。
Not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning.
これ花の方かな。
Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the
この時は指輪つけてる。
in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love.
この船長の息子がまあ好きなような男を好きになるっていう姉妹。
She pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swans. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
この後や。この後が
Really? Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock to drown. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by.
フィドル奏者っていうの誰なの？
Oh, the dreadful wind and
これが2人目のあれかな。恋人サイモンかな。
made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind. of her fingerbones. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her fingerbones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the
あ、バイオリンみたいなもんか。
Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
そらまあ気分言えば
Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
いやでも花は妊娠できんくなったけどイブが妊娠したんやんか。でそれを花がどう思ってるかがすごい気になるんやけど、そこ割と大事だと思うけど、サイモン両親まだいける、まだサイモン両親別居同居サイモンのこと何もわからん。あ、出てきた。Google 検索みたいなんで出てきた。サイモンとはで出てきた。
I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. We put points in the license. It lasted about 6 months.
6ヶ月
I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him.
妊娠した後の話かな。
We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird, in a way it hadn't been
一緒に住んで
before.
る時か。2人の間にはルールがあったようなのでそれを調べてみましょう。お、
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity.
心理テストかな。
Did they catch her there? I don't know.
関係ありそうで関係なさそうで分からん。
Just became our way of life.
一人の人間を二人で順番に演じるように。
We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
違うな。キーワードがあるはず。何かお
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. This morning sickness.
ということはこの赤はイブか。
No. Well, yes. You found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
積んできたな。お
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage.
両親
The
が
worst
死ん
year
だ
of my
時
life.
の
I'd been so happy to
話
get
か
married, and
な。
after that, it was just like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
アロハシャツじゃないけど着てる人はこいつは花や。あ？ということはちょっと待てよ。これが6月30日で、さっきのが6月27。ここで証言に食い違いが生じてるわけや。座りが来てるって言ったんやけど、この水色おばさんが妊娠できないって言うたから矛盾が生じている。はあ、ほんで両親が死んだ時の
They'd gone to bed feeling ill.
気分があるっていう2人
Thinking it
とも
was
ベッドに
flu
入
or
って
something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my
で
key
近
to
所の
let
人
them
から
in.
連絡が寝たま
We
ま亡く
found
なっ
them
ていた。
dead in their bed. And
俺
they'd
の
been
読み
there
に
for
よる
days.
と
No one had noticed. Just
何らか
awful.
の薬を盛られたんじゃないかな
It
とか。
was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that, it was just like, fuck.
ファッ人生最悪でなんかあるかもな。お、あった。これ
Nothing
は
like
イブ
this
さ
has
ん
ever
ですね。
happened to me before. The blood.
血が
It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
これを人生最悪のことにしようっていうのは2人で示し合わせていたのでは。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. miscarriage, and then my parents. Well, she has a
また話
knife.
のやつか。
But,
So knife-
she's been cooking.
ナイフ探そうと思ったの。
I guess she's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
殺したの花か。
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection.
もう
She
一
also
人の
had short
私
hair。when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife,
Oh.
something like that.
ナイフの。
My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
全然真実にたどり着かん。喉を切り裂かれた喉。探したか。
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting, waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
ちょっと本気出す。花が20件ある。花とは間違えた。花、誰？花かわいい。違う。花。入試に検索したかな。花イブもイズじゃない。イブも検索したかな。 指輪そうや指輪。
No. No, he wasn't wearing his wedding ring.
Oh!
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Oh?
Are you out of your mind?
ありえないと言ってるこの日は。
Twins?
けど笑した。
There were always princes and princesses.
王子と王女。
They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories.
本が好きって
We
言ってたな。
knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
ダイアナ
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
ごめんなさい。何か双子で結婚
A long time. We got married when I was 17. Childhood sweethearts. Something like that. Are you married, detective?
話そらしたな。
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
この日は花っぽいな。花っぽいけど。お、4つまでできた。
No. I think he spoke to Helen.
ヘレンって誰じ
He
ゃ
was upset about our argument, but I'm not sure what else he
ヘレンっ
said.
て誰じゃい
He likes Helen. he likes blondes. I don't know, couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
ヘレンって誰じゃい
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but no, he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
ここで謎の人物登場、ヘレン。
He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
ヘレン来たー。ヘレン来てないやん。3も来てない。金髪。石川ヘレンだったらもうちょっとまとまってるわ。もうちょっと。
Sam is 6 foot,
ちゃんと事件がまとまってる。
dark blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
俺にも見せ写真。誰の
This
話
other
すっちゃう
person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap? Salmon is 6 foot, dark
サイモンっ
blonde
てサイ
hair.
モンって言ってるんだ
average build.
ウィッグ調べたっけ。ウィッグ。お
A wig? You mean... What type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so
怒ってい
angry.
た。
The kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
うっす、こんにちはっす。列車やで。キャットファイトしてた今。今キャットファイトしてたよ。じゃあ一回ここまでまとめるわ。一回まとめよう。一回まとめよう。リング取ってた。あ、そうなの ?1 億じゃなくて。だってスマブラしてた俺が見てた時は遊戯王してたけど。まあなんかこう検索ワードがあるからなんか単語を入れるのよ、そこに殺人とか。そしたらそれに関係するムービーが出てくるわけよ。でそれでなんかこうどういう事件かみたいな、多分こいつが喋ってる言葉に含まれる殺人とか含まれるようなやつが出てくるんやけど、でまあこれを全部言ってたらもう一回やり直してたら時間かかるから、まあどういうことがあったかというと、でそれでいろいろこう出てくる単語から何があったんだろうって調べたわけよ。でこいつの 旦那さんがどうやらいなくなったと。で旦那さんには両親がおって、旦那さんの両親とは昔一緒に暮らしてたけど、まあ今は一緒に暮らしてないと。10年くらい前からは。であと何があったっけ。そう旦那さんの、上司のエリックって人がおって、でそのエリックと旦那さんが仲がいいと。でエリックの、奥さんがダイアナじゃないダイアンで、ダイアンは、センスがいいダイアンはセンスがいいらしい。で、ここからすごい急展開じゃないけど、実はこの女の人が双子だったんやけど、もう片方の人が生まれた時にこうへその緒が首に巻きついてたから、あ、こいつ死んでますわって助産師が嘘ついて、でその子引き取ったのよ。だからその普通に生まれた一人と奪われた一人でこうなんつったらいいんだろう、入れ替わりながらこう暮らしてましたよみたいな。でも恋人は共有できなくて、こう愛憎が、交わりましたよみたいな。で、それを象徴する取り調べの時にギター弾けって言われて、これずっと見てるなこの曲
About a traditional ballad should be right up your street. There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
ごめん、米尻あるのにちゃんとついてなかった。
Love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind. Eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
これで歌わくと思わんね。
So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain.
これよ。突き進もう。
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diana's a really good
幼馴
cook
染ってあれちゃうん。
into her
双子や。
trendy
双子。
ingredients.
幼馴
And
染
the
だっ
last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef,
け。あ、
he
幼
got
馴
the
染
recipe
で
on
検索する。
Seafax. And I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the
そう、スーパーに
supermarket.
ファンネルを買いに行った。
Have you ever eaten fennel?
めっちゃ飛沫とかぶってるし、ごめんなっても許されるかも。
なあ、あかんな、幼馴染も。見てないムービーだったらここにね目のマークが表示されるんやけど、パブ。お、2個来た。
Not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but he doesn't have any kind of drink. God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone follows him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
ないの、新しいなんかね、この断片的なムービーから事件の真相を知るというこう新しい形の推理ゲームなんやけどどうやったらクリアなんですかっていうのがまだ分からんっていうクリア条件が分かんねえっていう、逆再してえなって言ってたなんかメモとかしていけばよかったかな。メモしてメモをこう配信に出力しながら。お。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
なんかヒントになるよってないかな。
I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different. I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
花って方がなんか表の人格みたいな、こう普通に両親に引き取られた方で、イブって方が助産師に盗まれた方か。全然実績がさ、実績が13個あるんやけど、ランダムアクセス機能ってのがあるんか。え、これか
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is. A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
ランダム検索機能。そうで、その単語で検索したら最初の5個しか出てこへんのよ。だから271個あるんやけど、だから絞らんかったら全部見れんみたいな。これはあるんよなこれはあるんよな。あ、これ動かせるんや知らんかった。データベースチェッカー。1個のファイルが見つかりません。1個のファイルが見つかりませんって何？なんで？あとなんもないよな。最初から解放しとけやけど見れてないの多すぎるやろこれ。なんか今日終わると思ったのにな。最初はまあ何日かかかるだろうってそれぐらいのゲームかなって思ってたけど、やり始めたらすぐ終わるかなって。で今あと何日かかるかなっていう。上司の名前がエリック。エリックの妻がダイアン。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane? Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever...
時計も調べてんのか俺。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes.
壊れた鏡。
They're gone.
鏡。
We took him down to the cellar.
これや。
We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
お、来た。
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. The mirror. I can't remember.
覚えていない。
I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. Haven't looked at it since.
鏡？ お。
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
なるほど、やっぱこいつが殺したんや。
Not to scare him off.
花が。だから死んだ原因ぐらいまで分かったんやけど、で誰が殺したかも分かったんやけど今から何を調べなあかんかが分からんっていう
難しいなこのゲーム。
大体つながりつつあるんやけど、全部つなげようとしていくとこの埋まってるところを検索せなあかんから、双子なんやなこいつらが。でサイモンってやつと2人で3人で暮らしてて、で3人で暮らしてたんやけど、妊娠できるやつと妊娠できんか2人なんやな、その双子が。片方は妊娠できるけど片方は流産したから妊娠できんくて、でその片方が妊娠したと。で表向きは流産した方の夫婦なんやけど、そのもう片方の妊娠できるやつ、妊娠したやつ、妊娠できるやつはその公にはしてなくて、公にしてない、そのっていう多分そういう夫婦で 3人一夫多妻制ででその嫁が妊娠した方のやつのふりして喧嘩した後にかな、分からんけど妊娠したやつのふりして出迎えたら、でそうやな、なんだっけな、でその嫁のやつは妊娠できん方は鏡もらってたよね。鏡もらってたのよね。自分夫が自ら作った鏡をもらってて、で、嬉しかったんやけど、でだからもう一人の花がイブのふりして夫待ってたら、夫がイブにも同じように自分が作った鏡渡したから、で切れて威嚇のふりして鏡こうやろうとしたら、やったら夫の喉が切れてちぎれてあらーっていう。お
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. About 8 years back, it was a present to myself.
あ、タトゥー。あ、そういえば調べて
I
なかった。
shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have one cup.
今の何の音？チットチャットって何やこれなんか上司からソフトバンクからメール来たなんて返したらいいかな。疲れそうです俺お疲れ様ですって言ったのに俺お疲れ様ですっていうこいつリスナーなんでも SB ってソフトバンクじゃないこれ。進捗どうですかはいいけど、なんかあれ割となんか何答えたら面白いだろうなみたいなあるんよな俺。いや終わったかいお疲れ様です。で現在あれまだあ、上司に電話できるって話これ分からんけどさ。あ、なんか見れるようになってる。ちゃうわ、タトゥーって調べたからか。
No, he doesn't have any.
タトゥーは入れてないわ。
He has a scar down here near his stomach.
お腹からお尻にかけて
His hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
本を読むやつと本を読まないやつがいるんやな。本が友達のやつとテレビが友達。こいつ多分こいつ本が友達の。
My tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
リンゴとヘビ。楽園のやつやん。お実績解除。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
そうずっとこういう日付が違うさバラバラの情報をずっとこうやって集めていってんの。
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, well, that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
これ何終わりましたって送ったらいいかこれ入力できへん終わりましたって言ったのにくそ
Yes.
あ、そうやな。こいつ水飲んでる。
Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car.
水飲んでるやつとコーヒー飲んでるやつがいる。
I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back. Black no sugar. Thanks.
この服で出てきたの初めてなの
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. About 8 years back. It was a present to myself. No, no one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone sang with you from the rock.
もうさ事件のオチ分かったから割と満足はしたんやけど大体オチ分かったからこれ全部埋めんのしんどいぞな なんで警察はこれチェッカーでできるようにしたんや。なんでちょっと冒険要素を入れたんや。水コーヒー。ブロンドも調べた、金髪も調べた、ギターも調べた。会社の名前調べてないな。死因も調べたし、どこに隠したかも調べた。
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at The Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier. And a van we use for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Hmm. でもこのゲームさ、この女の人一人で作ろうと思ったら作れるんやからすごいよな。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so
自分で演技して、
Eric convinced him to.
演出も自分でして。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
これタトゥー入ってないからあれやな。マジでどういうどうやってやるのそれ。エリック氏エリック誰エリックサイエリックエリックがねこれ14件のクリップ見つかるからこれ9個あと9個見えてないわけよこれ。さっきのキャットファイトのやつ保存しとけばよかった。オパブって何や。オッパブやんけ。 二の実はいらん。二の実はいらん。おいっぱい出てきた。
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
心理テストかな。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
実績が今あと何個や。9個。嘘。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with
とりあえず一文字とかで攻めるか。
But it's
一
okay
文字で攻めるか。
because she
50
finds out
全
it
部攻め
wasn't
る
her
か。
husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
何の話。このゲーム面白いと思うけど。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band.
バンド
He was
ね。
a bit of a shit.
よくあるやつ
He
ね。
was sexy. We were 15.
漢字一文字でどこまでいけるか。コロロじゃない。お、漢字一文字強いぞ。
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
あー、これアリバイのためにぶつかったんだな。
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him.
浮気。
I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him. We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny paints. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper and dressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
しゃあない50音順作戦でいこうあった2個も来た
Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No. No. I'm not sure what strange would be, but he hasn't been acting odd. He's been busy at work, but nothing too stressful. He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. It's just the discs. I haven't seen it, so he doesn't put it on him.
何分かった
He always takes it out of his back pocket when he comes in, if he's in the house.
犯人分かってもうた犯人分かっただけじゃ終われんのよこのゲーム
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
50音作戦で全部50音を検索してってムービーを総当たりするというまず違う日にしようかなこれ普通に違うゲームしてもいいんやけどスー強いスーにこ来た
Sure, yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
スマブラでもするか
He doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
.案外50音作戦強いかもてかこいつしかおらんないからこいつが犯人やんもうこの物語にこいつしか出てこないから今のところ人間がさこいつしかおらんないから絶対こいつが犯人やんもうそれ以外にありますかてか だってもう事件の真相は知ってるもん。
No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one.
俺が今何を調べなあかんかが分からん俺は今何を知らなくて
I got in the
知らなくて
car
あかんの。
and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in
こいつ
Glasgow. I was so
こいつ今日配信せえへんって言うてたのに配信してる
asleep.
配信してるやんけこいつ。50音全部すねって悩みよ。消えた。
Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. Open this door. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing it, invented all these characters and the families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
お 50% やっと 50% か。
Cute. You must love them very much. What ages are they? Are you sure? What would you be doing in hospital if there was no conference?
だったら終わりなんだろうけどさ。
I remember calling him. Said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar. When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
ホームあるんかよ。
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway.
さあもうね配信3時間になるん
They
で
were painted over by my
撤
dad.
収しますよ。もう撤収
She
しま
left
す
the
よ。
door open accidentally. There's a
撤
cat
収
flap
の
in
時
the
間が
back
始ま
door.
りますよ。
Well, there you go. How many kids?
この4秒のムービーいるかまあでも大体分かった大体分かったそのね終わりましたって送れんのこれお終了かはいそうかそれじゃ分かったのか君の母さんが君の母さんあーこれ子供って設定なんやなるほどよくできてんなこれ 確かにそれは知らなあかんかったわ。なるほど。誰かってさ、外で待ってるから。終わった？クリア？ゲームクリアか？おおクレジット流れた。クリア、ゲームクリア。質問はいって言うだけやったけど俺上司に。いやまあでも大体の真相は分かりました。大体というかまあ真相分かったかな。お前犯人分かったって言うたやんけ。アーカイブでも見てくれこれの、これのアーカイブ見たら、全部分かるから。いやーでもこんな面白かったのほんまに。逆転裁判とかまあそういう推理ゲーって証拠があってそっからじゃあどうなったのかっていうのを探していく感じだけど、結果が先あってっていうか、まず何が起こったのからあってまずね、なんか殺人っていうので検索されてて女の人出てきてるけど、何があったんだろうっていうのを、いやで配信しなかったらええなと思いますけど、わざわざなんか PC の感じが古く作られてるのはだからイブさんが妊娠してたよね今回。花さんは妊娠的に体やったけどイブさんが妊娠してて、その子供がなんでこんな事件が起こったんだっていうのを当時の資料を見て知るっていう、設定だったので、こんな形でそういうちょっとねこういう感じの古い1994年っていう設定だったんだなと思いました。よくできてるなと。なんでわざわざこんな古い、なんか雰囲気あるなと思ったけど、雰囲気あるなと思ったけどやっぱそういうことやったんだね。よくできてるなと思いました。はい、これ1010円でスチームで売ってましたけども、1010円の価値は間違いなくあるよな。めちゃくちゃ面白かったと思います。はい、というわけで、はい、そうですね、僕はこれから人の配信を見に行くので、ここで私の配信は終わりにしようかなと思います。はい、お疲れ様でした。